6 months later, I got a letter, and she wrote me the note, "You were absolutely right. I got my purple sweater back from Joyce."
Oh, wow.
It was cool. Yeah, I tell people, send me a letter. I keep these letters all the time to prove people are cooperating, or this is how I did it. And I love feedback because, I told you specifically the kitchen. I said specifically the electrical plug. I said specifically certain things. And this application on a patterning of human life is so there. And how much time do we have? Because I'm going to tell you one quick story that is
we got
hilarious.
about, because I want you to be able to plug everything. So you probably got another 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll tell you a story of, I hate to use this. I should use this word. It's bull beep. Do you get the general idea? It's the bull deep story. Okay, a woman called me. Let's call her Sheila. She said, my mom is about to be arrested for stealing $10,000. I said, okay, tell me the story first, the beginning to the end. My mom was given $10,000 from her girlfriend, let's call her Janice. I said, okay. I said, why would she do that, and why would she use the bank? Because she didn't. I said, so Janice gives your mom $10,000, puts it in an envelope, and she wants your mom to hide it in her house. Yeah. I said, okay, first of all, I don't believe it. She goes, what? I said, I believe your mom got an envelope with something in it that may have seemed like $10,000, but I don't believe it. And she goes, why? And I said, well, the first thing I see is a pink bathroom. I want you to walk to your mom's bathroom and tell me what color it is. She said, it's yellow. I said, okay. The first thing in my head was, if it's not a pink bathroom, there is no such $10,000. The woman, Sheila, wanted to, the woman who said she gave her $10,000, she didn't give her $10,000. Guess what? Sheila gave her son an envelope with $10,000. The son took the $10,000 and gave it to the woman whose daughter called me. And I think what happened was the son took the $10,000, gave her the envelope filled with coupons or something, get my drift. And I said, well, who's the one with the yellow bathroom? Because whoever has the yellow bathroom has the $10,000. The woman, Sheila, didn't have a yellow bathroom. My client's mom didn't have the yellow bathroom. I bet you $10 that son had a yellow bathroom.
Well,
Voila.
For a lot of people, it's an envelope with $10,000. I mean, you give a kid, and I talk about a kid anywhere from probably 30 or younger, an envelope,
Yeah.
and they can feel it's money in there. They're going to open it up and look. And you know how tempting for some people that would be?
Oh, absolutely. Well, they got all mad at me because I think I charged for that one. I think that was a $50 thing because I said, you got a 50-50 deal here. And I charged $50. And she wanted her money back. And I said, no. I said, I just spent a week on this stupid assignment. And I'm going to tell you right now, the son stole the money. The mother didn't realize it. And your mother can't be sued because she has no agreement. And she can't be sued because the chain of command wasn't proper. And the whole thing is fishy. A judge is going to throw it out. So she goes, well, my mom is still going to be sued. I said, yes, you're fearful of it, but it's not going to happen. It's going to, you don't even need a lawyer. I've been to court so many times for people, and they call me and say, can I win this one? And I've won 9 out of 10 cases to help out with court cases. And they're like, how'd you do that? And I said, well, it's too lengthy, but all I'm saying is that chain of command, things didn't match. The variables are really important in solving a mystery. And I tell people all the time, whether you have treasure or missing persons or whatever. So there we are. So anyway, that's my little life adventure as one of many, 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 many. But anyway, that's where we are.
Wow. Yeah, this sounds like it keeps you busy 24/7, doesn't it?
It can be. I mean, the fact that I had a dream about your kitchen makes me feel great that I actually opened my mouth and I told you about the kitchen. I wasn't going to tell you, but I said, you know what? This is important, not for me, but for you.
Well,
pretty cool.
I guarantee I wouldn't be writing for another week or two. I mean, to be honest with you, my wife probably wouldn't even found the keys to, she does the next going through and changes the cages probably about middle of next week. So, I mean, and summer's going to be gone, so I I was sweating.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I was sweating on it.
Yeah, I know finding missing objects is a blast. I mean, I do have cases where I tell people that's a $150 job. I mean, I work on locating missing kitty cats and dogs, and I mean, I have good stories. I mean, I had a lady, and I said, "I'm sorry, but I'll just tell you this real quick. This is a fun story." I had a lady, and the only thing I didn't like about it was her cat's name was so hard. It should have been a $300 job, but it was a really hard job because I call it beginning, middle, and end when it comes to animals. I try to get them to come home, so I send them telepathic vibes to come home, and that's happened before. And he said he's going to come home at this date and this time, and people called me and said, "You're crazy." And I said, "I'm telling you," he said, "he's going to come home at 8 o'clock. And people have called me and said, "He came home at 8 o'clock. I said, "Okay, well, there's something going on with us and our minds that people are not paying attention to." Now, on the one with the kitty cat in Reston, Virginia, I'll just say Reston, I said, "Yours is a beginning, a middle, an end, and a final." And she goes, "What's that mean?" I said, "Well, unfortunately, the kitty went under a tunnel, went under a road. I think he got hurt," and I described it. And I said, when he did, somebody picked him up. They took him. They realized finally he's hurt. They're taking him to the vet. When they took him to the vet, they found out he was too expensive to fix, so they had them check him for a chip. The kitty had a chip, and I said, "Your kitty is going to be at the vet's office." But I said, not just a normal vet. It's going to be at a vet's office that they work a lot of times out of their home. And I said, for some reason, they took the kitty to the vet's house, so it was taken in through the garage and then into the house. And I see a woman in a white coat, which is I called that the climax, meaning the kitty is being transferred from one site to another to the final. And then the kitty went from the vet's house to the vet's shop. Does that make sense? So it's a chain of command. For example, on missing persons, like the Iowa case. I've had 10 people calling here, "Go solve that case." You don't just go solve a case. You don't call anybody. They have to call you. You can't do that. It's not appropriate. On the missing kitty, the final news was the vet found the chip in the cat, and the cat got to go home. And everything in the chain of command matched, which was great. But on missing people, it's a whole different ballgame. It's the key factor on that one. It's having the right maps, having some details, like who, what, when, where, how. And they're missing details on this case. Like they think she went missing at 10:30 at night. No, she didn't. She went missing during the day. All right. And there are other factors about her that they're missing and they're not paying attention to. How long was she jogging for? Did she have to stop and get a water? I mean, just in my mind, they're not paying attention to details, and that's why I think this case is going to take longer than they think to solve. And that's why the money keeps piling up. So, missing persons, it can be done. And as I mentioned, I found missing persons alive and dead, and it's hard, but it can be done. But the FBI is missing out on all the right questions. They should use my protocol. It's really amazing. It's even better than their protocol. They have some great protocols, I'm not going to lie. But I am a little surprised they haven't used the CIA satellite dishes, because those satellite dishes are amazing,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, yes, that's CIA and the DOD has. Real amazing.
Well, they have the money. Why not take some of that reward money and pay the CIA to pull up those dishes, and they can see whether or not she was abducted or not, or see if she ran off. She didn't run off. My opinion is she didn't run off. That's just my opinion. But anyway, so that's where we are. And do you want me to give you information on how people can reach me and that kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. Well, let's start off your website and then any books you have or whatever you want. Okay. You got 5 minutes.
Well, unfortunately, my website is down, so that sort of gives us more time. I'm working on a website, okay? The original one was called Advanced Psychic Solutions. It'll probably be called the same thing, okay? The Facebook, I keep getting hacked, but I'm under the name of Ginette-Lucas. and it's Ginette, Ginette, Lucas. Again, it's ginette-lucas, and then it says Paranormal Advisors. That one takes a while to reach me because it keeps getting hacked periodically. So it's easier to contact me on reachginette@gmail.com. REACH, reach, like reach for a gun, reach for a light, reachginette@gmail.com. And that's what I tell people. I am, if they want to follow me on Facebook, I'm under my father's name, and it's easier, and it's Louis, Louis, Louis Matacia, which is a really tough name, Matacia, Louis, Louis, Matacia, and I do a lot of stories on there, like the story of the purple sweater, the story of Al Capone, the story of this, the story of that. And I have stories all the time, which is, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not. I mean, there are no guarantees when you use a psychic. People should say that first thing when they talk to them. There's no guarantees, You either want a reading or you don't. If you don't want one, don't call. I have an astrologer I send people to. If it's something I don't want to do, my astrologer friend is phenomenal. If it's something else I don't want to do, I send it to my friend Angela Ford, and she's a very famous psychic who was an analyst for the federal government for DOD or DIA. And we're friends, and I tell people, or if I'm not available, I say, go call Angela, or if it's astrology type work, I send them to Peter Marks in Connecticut. I have another psychic out of Georgia I send people to, but she's a traveling psychic. So sometimes she's reachable and sometimes she's not. So depending on what the project is, if it's something I want to do, I'll take the call, evaluate it, and say, okay, go here or here or here, or I can't help you. So life is funny, and you better be nice to me when you call, because I tell people, if you're not nice, I'm not going to work for you.
Well, that gives you, you have that right.
I'm serious. People call and they're rude, and I'm like, oh, and I'm going to really enjoy working for you? I don't think so. And I'm sure your radio show, you have some great people that call, and then other people are just quite a challenge to work with. I'm very, very easy to work with.
Oh, yeah. One psychic I used to have on my show, I had her on about 3 or 4 times. We were talking with the worst case she ever had with a customer, and a customer came in for a reading, and it was basically that their uncle died, and they wanted to know where he hid the money, the loot in the house. And they've been tearing the house apart trying to find it and all that stuff. And she really got offended because, they didn't care about what, about the uncle. It was like, where did he hide the money? They were just so desperate looking for the money.
I don't get upset about that. I'll tell you why, because there's so many extenuating circumstances. I had a case in Maryland where the father had hidden $80,000. And I'm going to be honest with you, he was a real bastard. And so I really felt like the kids deserved the $80,000. So if the psychic didn't know that or couldn't pick that up, it could be that she was uncomfortable because she didn't know the whole scenario. I have cases where people have sold property and they've got money on their property. Going after money from hidden in families is absolutely funny as heck. I've been flown to New York to locate missing money, and they typically want you. They don't mind me doing it from my home, but at that time they wanted me to go to New York, and I had to go up to New York and check out the whole house. And I said, no, you got nothing. So they paid me like $1,000 to go to New York for the day and come home. And I was pretty fried. At that point, I don't even drink. I had a vodka and tonic, but I wanted to find them something, but I couldn't pick up anything. You do have cases where, and I'm sure you have clients where they say, we can't pick up a darn thing. Other cases, I have one right now, like I mentioned in the Southwest, and I said, you're an hour from a real treasure. And he goes, really? And I said, yeah. I said, it's a cowboy treasure.